Hello and welcome to Vinyl Vandals. My name is James Watson. I am an affiliate, an honorary member. I don't know what you want to call me here now, but co-host, guest host, southerner living up north, and talking here. This is the favourite five for the Vinyl Vandals. It's a pleasure to be back to host one of these and to interview this man, which is
King Fred.
King Fred. And here we have...
I'm John.
And John. John, tell me about yourself.
Part of the Vinyl Vandals as well. That's it. No, I don't know, because been with the Vinyl Vandals since day one, since lockdown when we started this as through boredom, to be honest. Always been talking about what's our favourite albums, blah, blah, blah. And it's led to this, where we've had loads of people. It's like everyone from people like Blade to yourself, Outlaw Posse, loads of people. And it's just going from strength to strength.
Excellent.
And obviously,
Well,
we've got this guy next door to us today.
Yeah, brilliant. So the main man today is, we're here for interviewing Fred. He's already been here and you've already done your UK hip-hop top 5, which has gone down very well. And today we're going to be doing your USA top 5.
We are. But before we start, can I just say, ba 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 ba? Got to start it right.
Got to get a theme tune in there. Got to get my theme tune in there. Fantastic, excellent. Right, well, so just a quick one about Vinyl Vandals, everyone. If you haven't heard these before, they come out. They're usually sort of about an hour, maybe possibly more, depending on who the guest is. But the Vinyl Vandals are Fred, John, Julie and Riddler. Big up to those two. And Julie did a fantastic one last week with her US top 5 as well. And on the MixLR app, you can go search for Method Radio. And every Monday, 7 till 8, you have Riddler, who's on the decks, dropping some hip hop. And then Fred and John also do the 7 Bridges. Are you doing it, once a month? Or
once a month.
Once a month, you do a mix. The last one was a Halloween one, which was fantastic. Loved a bit of Ghetto Boys on that one. It was all good. So that's what they do. They're doing a cracking job. It's keeping everyone entertained with these top 5s and loving them. So, and also you guys do also the Trainer Detectives as well.
That's right. Me and my son, Fathead Asher, do the Trainer Detective. Just been talking to him today. And we're desperately looking for somebody that wants to go, or people that want to come on and get interviewed on here, do their favourite 5 trainers, just while we're keeping it going through lockdown.
Yeah, excellent. Lockdown 2. Here we go. So this is the start. So, should we just crack on, boys?
We can, yes. Just before, can I just say as well, though, just a little bit of a plea, just to say we're desperate for females to come on and talk about their favourite 5 albums or their favourite 5 trainers, because it's very, very, as the boy better know would say, we need some more girls in here.
Aye.
There's too many man them.
Excellent. No, fair play. All right, that's cool. All right, so yeah, any ladies out there who into your hip hop, you don't actually have to have the vinyl, I think, on this one if you haven't got it. If you have,
we can talk.
Perfect. But yeah, let's just talk about music and if you know what you like, and whether it's US and UK hip hop, that'd be fantastic. Or even throw the net out there if you've got any European releases that you like as well. Just bring them in. Let's talk about music. We're all here about just talking and connecting, especially in these weird and wonderful times that we live in at the moment. We all need to be there to just chit chat and keep on top of things, So it's all good. Right, so you cleaned your specs. Are you ready to go?
1 second, I've just had to change from one glasses to the other glasses, alongside the short sight and all of that foolishness. Old age.
You just need to get double, mate, like me. So
these are double.
Oh, right. Okay, right, fair enough.
But the other ones are for something else anyway. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, right. So, Fred, we're going to discuss today your favourite 5 US hip hop albums. Now, we'll be doing mine soon because I've done my UK. John has done his US one, which was very good as well, which I was honoured to be there for that one. So I thoroughly enjoyed that episode. So tell us quickly, how hard was this?
Really, really difficult, and I wasn't really going to be doing this until after Christmas, but it's just been bugging us. So I just thought, let's get it out the way that I can't change it.
Right. So
much.
Yeah. So how many times have you changed your selection?
I have. There's been 2 in that have been in constantly.
Right.
Yeah. Which are still in now. Or maybe 3 in constantly. But the problem's been is there's so many ones that are in the same like sort of sphere that I just think, if I take that one out, that's not fair on that one. And I liken it to like cheating on your girlfriend or your wife. It's like, no, I can't leave them out because that's not right, because that's what it feels like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough. It's really, really tough. So so I'm looking forward to just getting mine out of the way now as well, because I'm being exactly the same. So right. Well, so have you got a number 1? Or are they all on a level playing field here?
They're all on a level. They're all on a level for different reasons. I think that's the best way of saying it. You know, there's some that probably pay more than others, but it's about just what they make me feel like as well. Do you know what I mean? And what they've done to me over the years. I think that's how I pick them.
Right. So here's a question for you, which I was thinking about when I was thinking about my ones.
Yeah.
One of my favourite hip hop albums of all time, I haven't got on vinyl, which is bizarre. I don't know why. Is there an album which should be on this top 5 which you haven't got on vinyl but you bought back in the day on CD or tape? Because that's how I've got my favourite album. So
what I've done is there's 1 album here, or 2 albums here that I've recently went out and bought over the last few months on vinyl, because I only had them on CD. Or I lost them on vinyl when I've told the story before, but the divorce moved and all of that, and I lost them somewhere along the line, so I had to go out and re-get them. So a couple of them are reissues.
That's fair enough. Doesn't matter if it's a reissue or an original pressing or anything like that. So, that's interesting, right? Cool. So it's going to be random choices. You're literally just going to pick them up. There's no number 1, number 2, number 3, etc. So let's crack on, and you bring up the first one. Let's see what it is. Right. Redman. Cool. So, John. John, this is one of John's choices as well.
It is.
So tell me, Fred, why have you gone with this?
So, I never had this on vinyl. I only ever had it on CD, and I got it as soon as it came out. I was introduced to him through EPMD.
Yep.
Who I rate very highly as a rap duo. One of my favourite rap duos of all time, EPMD. And
you've been to see them live as well on your EPMD.
I've seen them live. I've seen them live about 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you'd seen them.
I like them a little bit.
Excellent.
And certain artists that, if somebody said, if they were in Newcastle, I'd probably go and see most artists that I like.
Yeah.
Certain artists that if you said they were in the UK, like London, Leeds, Manchester, I would go and see them. If I had a chance. And EPMD are one of those that, same with Public Enemy. If they're there, I'm going. Do you know what I mean? I'll make an effort to go. Other ones I'm like, well, I can't afford it or whatever like that. Tough, I've missed them. But EPMD are one of the ones that I love going to see because they put on a good show, and I love their tunes. You know what I mean? I love nearly all the albums. So
right, okay, cool.
It's a no-brainer to me. Redman. The last time me and Cy Proctor, we were supposed to go and see him in Method Man down in I think it was Leeds or Manchester, but my car broke down.
Oh no!
The engine was knocked, so we couldn't go, and I couldn't even give me tickets away. Believe it or not, nobody wanted them in the northeast. And I was absolutely good. I was like, I can't believe nobody wants to go, and nobody I was in free. You can have them. I don't like things going to waste, but nobody wanted them. Which was a shame.
Right. So what brought you in with this album? What drew you in?
The thing with Redman for me is his first album. It's what introduced us to him. It's an absolute banger of an album. You know what I mean? From start to finish, every track on here I just think is absolutely class. He doesn't take himself seriously, although I do. I love his wild, wacky style. You know what I mean? He's not trying to educate, which I like me education hip hop. You know what I mean? He's not trying to educate anybody. He's but his lyrical, dexterity on the mic for me, he's faultless. He's flow, everything about him. And what I've also liked about him over the years is, he's never really. I know he's done a song with Christina Aguilera. I know he did a song with who was the other person he did a song with?
Pink.
You can laugh, okay?
No, I'm only laughing because the last time this came up on John's choices, we found out that he liked Pink, and then you were doing an impersonation of Christina Aguilera. It just makes me smile now every time.
Okay. Well, anyway, people laugh about that and all of that, but you know, like it's on paper it sounds like sellout, but actually he's still himself on those songs. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's not. He's Redman, and he's been Redman ever since. And actually, what I like about him, he's never chased the dollar. So he's never like, don't get us wrong. People got to pay bills. You know, if you've got kids, you've got mortgage, got to run the car, you've got to live, you've got to feed yourself. But actually, Redman has always been Redman. He's not went to try and like soften his sound or anything like that. And if you think from this to now, I've got nearly every single album by him, and he's never changed. You know what I mean? Like, as in, he's never changed to try and to appeal to a market. He's never like tried to do trap stuff or this or that. You know, he's never tried to do any kind of gimmicks. He's been unapologetically Redman. Not to say that every album's the same, because they're not. But apart from the dirty funk bass, which is nearly always there, it's just him. I just think he's mint. You know what I mean? He's one of my favourite. If you're talking about not just favourite albums, but favourite rappers of all time, he's definitely in my 5.
Right. Okay. But it's funny because last time when John really said about this was one of his favourite top 5 as well, I announced to both of you, and you're a bit aghast at the fact that I was never a massive big fan. Right? Didn't really. I don't know why. Just didn't get me at the time. But since then, since we did the one with John, I've listened to the album. Yeah, I've changed my mind. Yeah, he's definitely got the flow, and he just sounds great. And his MTV Cribs was hilarious. So, John sent me the link. I was loving it.
And the thing is, he's not putting it on either. Do you know what I mean? That is him. Every time you ever see him get interviewed, he's the same. You know, whatever you see him in. Do you know what I mean? He's not trying to do anything. Obviously, he's did a couple of those films with Method Man and that. But apart from that, which are stinkers, like that, How High is right. Yeah. But apart from that, it's just like, you know, this album, Muddy Waters, There Is a Dark Side. Help us out, John. What else is there?
Mudface, which was his last one, which I really liked.
Yeah.
Red Gone Wild, Reggie. There's loads of them.
What's
See
the
which
one
ones I've got.
What's the one with Smashing Something on? That one where...
Oh, that's with...
Malpractice.
Malpractice, yeah. I've actually listened to that today.
Amazing albums, all of them.
Is that the one with Adam F?
That's the song with Adam F, the remix,
yeah. He did that on they did drum and bass album. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. That's a good album, that as well. Sure. So, question is, did you ever get to see him live in the end or not?
I've never seen him live. It's one of my ones. Right. He's definitely in my bucket list to see live.
Right. Okay. Well, sign me up. I'll come to that gig.
Yeah. Without a doubt. I just think I can imagine the show being absolutely off the hook as well. I've heard about it. People have told us who've seen him and just say it's non-stop entertainment from start to finish. Because he's hype. You know what I mean? You know, it's definitely on Ritalin. Or needs Ritalin or something to calm him down because he's just hype all the time.
It's probably just a proper party night. That's what it's going to be. It'd be like literally, let's just go for this. So So John, you're going to ask him the question we need to answer. We need the answer for.
What's your favourite track on it?
Oh, this is really, really hard on Garvey. Honestly, there's just I could easily go for.
Christina's not on this one, is she?
No, definitely not. I'm going to play it safe and just go Blow Your Mind. Right. I'm just going to go for Blow Your Mind. Probably the best thing to do. Yeah. Okay. But there's so many that could have been. But it's just he's scripting fantastic as far as I'm concerned. You know.
Excellent. No, that's good. Yeah. Nice one. Well, so I mean, it's changed my opinion because it was, I mean, even though it's, what is it? It's 28 years old, something like that now with this album. So I've gone back and sort of reevaluated, and I don't know why he didn't get me at the time, but he just didn't. And I've never, when you don't listen to a debut album by someone, you go and you just don't get into them later.
Yeah.
In fact, I changed on one of your later records.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard their debut album, but I got into them later.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that one. But so I've gone back, and 28 years later, I'm going, fair enough. Yeah, you two know what you're talking about, and it's a banger. So fair play. So that's all good. Yeah, nice choice, man. So excellent. Right, so do you want to crack on to number 2? Let's have a go with the next one.
Right, this one, I haven't got the proper album cover. I've got it on CD as a proper album cover, but this is, for those who don't know, I've worked on the door for years as a bouncer, and a bar I used to work in, the DJs used to get stuff sent to them, and some of the stuff used to get sent to them was too hardcore for the pub, couldn't play it, so I used to get it. So I used to get loads of hip hop stuff given to us, like DJ samples. So this is actually,
okay.
This is actually
like labels and stuff like that.
This is like a DJ sample.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a method. It's It's Master Ace.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
it's Disposable Arts. Yeah. Okay.
Had you got into him before this album? Because this is about his fourth or fifth album. This fourth album.
Yes. So I've got what's his favorite album called? I've got, obviously he was in the Juice Crew, and he had that there. Is it Music Man? What's that album?
Take a look over your shoulder.
Take a look around. Sorry, yeah. Take a look around. Yes. So I've got that album. I've got it on vinyl, but this is the one that hooked me in. Like, it's just, to me, it's just absolutely amazing.
Because it is a concept album, and there isn't many albums by hip hop artists. Not many, where it's like what is classed as a concept album. You know, like you're thinking of concept album. You think of something like The Who with Quadrophenia, for example, or Tommy, or that type of thing, where it's a story, and people actually are part of a cast, which is how it is. It's it's about a young boy coming out of prison and whatever. So what made you really get into this, or what, because again, I think we've mentioned this before about the fact that if it's an album which is later on in someone's career, it's very rare that it comes up on people's lists. Because it's usually the debut, possibly second album. Exactly, it's in your face, it's the impact. So this is the fourth album, and this is about, trying to work out, 90, it's about 12, 13 years after his debut album. And, and this has got in your top 5. So tell me more, why?
Right. I think what you need to know from me of what I feel about Master Ace, again, he is definitely in my top 5 rappers, top 3 even. Yeah.
Right.
I think he's amazing. I think age has never stopped him as well. I think, you're talking about how old he is, still bringing albums out, as in recently as last year, that are as good as most people's debuts from way back. You know what I mean? Yeah. John's agreeing with this, I'm sure, because he's the same with opinion. You know what I mean? And he comes back at different angles. He does songs with other people, and it keeps it fresh. So he's done, obviously he's done the stuff with MF Doom. He's done stuff with Ed O.G. He's done stuff with
Marco Polo album, which came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah. He's done the Master Inc. Incorporated.
Yeah.
Have I missed anything else?
He fell out with the Inc, though, didn't he? Didn't he fall out with them, and it all?
With some of them, I think.
A bit sour, didn't it? I think, but that was very successful, the Inc stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 albums. Yeah, he did the Slaughterhouse album, and what was the other album called?
Sitting on Chrome.
Sitting on Chrome. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Which is one of my favourites.
Yeah, same.
He's really neglected and underrated, Master Ace. He never ever comes in the top 10 list of people when they go, oh, what's your best top 10 rappers from US or UK, wherever, it doesn't matter. But he's just never ever there.
Never gets mentioned. When people talk about Guts and they talk about this one, they talk about that one, it's like, to me, it's all very well being a really good rapper and then only having 1 album or 2 albums out, and then that's what you pick off to saying he's the best, one of the best rappers. Yeah. But if you've been doing 7, 8, 9, 10 albums, and they're solid bodies of work, that to me is when you start talking about Guts.
Consistent.
That's the same thing I'm talking about Redman as well, because they're still bringing albums out now that are major, whereas some of these rappers that we talk about, I'm even going to put Public Enemy in that, and everybody knows what I feel about Public Enemy. Yeah, anybody who knows what I feel about Public Enemy. But obviously, their sort of things dipped, which is understandable because they're 60. Yeah. Okay. But this dude is still bringing that stuff out now. He's still bringing the fire out now, and I think that for me, I still get excited when I know he's bringing an album out.
Nice.
Yeah, and that, I still feel like that same kind of thing. On my first favourite 5, when I used to jump on the bus, before I could drive, or my mate Stag used to come and get us in the car and we'd go and buy records when I couldn't drive and couldn't afford a car. That excitement of coming back and sitting in the car with Stag, or sitting on the bus or metro and reading everything about who made this and that and all of that what studio it was made, and who was the engineer. All of that stuff that probably is nonsense to most people, but to a hip hop artist especially, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if you're a proper music lover, you read the credits, don't you? Yeah, you read the credits. Yeah, fair play. So, have you got all of his albums on vinyl?
I've got about 4 or 5. So I've got this.
Okay, cool.
I've got the 2 Inks, and I've got Son of Yvonne. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Nice. Have you seen him live? Just out of curiosity.
No. There was a time.
I've never actually. To be fair, I've never actually seen anything to say that he's actually been over here.
He has been over here before.
Jazz Cafe or something, is it?
He has been over before, and also he plays a lot in Europe. He lives a lot of the time in Europe.
Oh, right.
You know, Europeans love him. You know, Germany, Austria, and what's the place called? Holland. I think he's there a lot.
Yeah, Germany and Holland always come out really big as massive hip-hop fans, aren't they? Yeah.
They know their tunes, they know their tunes.
Right.
And a while ago, when I was still doing the Keep the Faith stuff, or just when it was dying out, my good friend of mine, shout out to Don P. Don P said to us, "Do you fancy going halfers or thirds with another guy to bring Master Ace to Newcastle?" And I was like, "Oh, really tempted." Then I thought, you know what? If we bring him, how many people even know? You know, because back to what you're saying, a lot of people don't even talk about them. So if we brought them, we'd probably lose money. And I just wasn't prepared to be losing money, even though I thought, at one point, well, I don't care. As long as I can have them, even if there's 3 were there and I get to see them, I'll pay for that. But it was a lot to pay for a ticket, really, wasn't it?
No. Do you know what? Well, being I mean, you guys have, kindly DJ for us at the forum and been down there for events and, whatever. But bringing the people that we want to come over, and you don't want to be in a massive venue. That's the thing.
No.
And the Forum is a 250 capacity venue, and it'd be ideal for someone like Master Ace because the party would start and it'd be a fantastic gig.
Yeah,
but it's getting that person over here.
It is,
and it just costs money. And like you just said, as a promoter, it's going to be really hard to try and think about. It's to me personally as a promoter and putting stuff on every now and again it's never been about the money for me. It's always been about putting it on because the way I do it is that the money goes to the Forum because it's not a charity, but it's a venue where all the money we make goes back into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to put on people like Master Ace and bring someone like that to the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes down to the cash, doesn't it?
It does come out the cash, and it's not so bad if you're going to take a little bit of a loss. But my worry is that a lot of the hip hop heads wouldn't even come and see him. So I would also be embarrassed because like when I've seen hip hop artists, I've been with John before, at gigs in Newcastle, and I'm actually embarrassed when they come out and go, "All right, Newcastle," and it's like 20 or 30 were there. It feels a bit embarrassing because it's like,
do you know what? I went to see the Sugar Hill Gang at the Riverside, the new Riverside.
Yeah,
I was to that one
2 or 3 years ago, and it was buzzing, absolutely buzzing. But the party vibe was there, and it was a great gig.
There was hardly anyone there.
People.
Yeah,
there's maybe 40, 50 people. Maximum,
exactly. And I was gutted for them. They're legends, and that's the thing it's a real shame that these people don't come over, and they're not. People don't sort of tip their hat and go, "Yes, you are. You are due a big crowd. You're owed this." And they don't come out. And I don't understand if you're a hip hop fan, why these people don't come out. And like you say, completely underrated Master Ace, and he should have been bigger than he is.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Nice. So you mentioned also about Keep the Faith earlier.
Yeah.
I don't think we sort of really spoke about that on your UK one so much.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why you got into doing Keep the Faith?
So a bit of my hip hop history.
A
bit of my hip hop history is that obviously, as you can probably tell by the way I talk, I'm very passionate about my music and especially my hip hop music. And a while ago, good while ago, 2007, around 2005, through my work as a youth worker, I was working with some asylum seekers and refugees, and one of the things they kept on saying to me was they hate being called asylum seekers, unaccompanied minors. refugees. They hate, that term because it was like, oh, let's go and work with the refugees. Let's go and work with the asylum seekers. Let's go and work with the unaccompanied minors. And sometimes they just said, all I wanted to, when you ask them, well, what kind of things do you want to do? We just want to be treated like everybody else. We just want to be the same. We don't want, like to be labeled as anything. And one of the things that I come up with the idea was, one of the things that they were into universally was rap music. Yeah. And what I decided to do was, I'm cutting the story right down because obviously it's long, but basically it was to start putting like a hip hop night on for young people. And one of the things I was speaking to some of the young people that are born and bred in the Northeast, but are of black minority ethnic descent. Yeah, so even my own kids is like, they wanted to be able to go somewhere, listen to some hip hop music and not be bullied or, singled out. And it was like very common theme was with the asylum seeker young people and black young people. And also some white young people I was also working with who were basically just saying they want to go somewhere where there's no bother, there's nobody picking on them or bullying them, where they can just go and listen to the tunes as well. So I said, well, that's easy. All you have to do is put a night on where youth workers run it, get some bouncers who understand and aren't thugs. Yeah. So I went and spoke to some of my friends who said, look, this is what I want to do. I want you to treat the kids that are there like your own kids. If they're misbehaving, we'll speak to them and we'll speak to them very firmly, but we don't start getting them in headlocks. And do you know what I mean? We'll keep them in a corner and we'll ring the parents if they're upset, or if one of them is drunk, we'll isolate them. We'll get somebody down. If they need to go to the hospital, somebody from one of the youth workers will accompany them, that type of thing. From that, we started having what we now know as was Crunk Newcastle. And it was like an under-18s event. And in its height, we were getting something like 2,000 young people in a nightclub in the town. Wow. Mainly of black and Asian descent, ethnic minorities, as well as white young people as well. All coming and having a good time. And we had very little to zero bother. Where everybody was telling me around that if you put them all together, you'll have trouble. Okay. So that went on, but it was a funding thing. It was a really hard machine to keep going because we weren't trying to make a profit. It was trying to keep, like what you were saying, trying to bring money back in, because Streetwise that I work for is a charity, and trying to keep that going was really, really hard. It was getting really, really hard to maintain. But the spin-offs were fantastic. Young people were feeling as though, that we brought an album out, a hip-hop album. We brought out a video that was about the dangers of taking drugs and alcohol. Lots of success. They brought a clothing company out. We went to Leeds Carnival, and we were in the carnival dancing. Loads of success stories from it. But it was a hard machine to keep going, money-wise and all of that. It was a lot of effort. So in the end, it had to die, basically. And then I used to just sit at home and just think, you know what? I've learned all of the stuff from that. I could do this with adults. You know what I mean? With older people. Why don't I just do this with people that I know from the scene and just do the same type of thing? And then within that as well, back to working on the door, I used to be in my car, and I remember one time being in the car, and it was pouring down rain. These lasses, I said, oh, where he's going? They goes, oh, we're going down to what you could say is Riverside. At the time, it was called, what was it called at the time? C nightclub. Can you drop us off? I goes, yeah. I said, I'll drop you off, jump in. And when I got in the car, I had my tunes on, and I was playing a CD. And the CD I was playing was by a group from South Shields called Dialect.
All right, yeah.
Like, what's this, Geordie rap? That's terrible. And there was a song on there which was they were rapping over the beat of Shaka Demus and Pliers, Murder She Wrote.
Right, yeah.
And that came on, and they knew the beat, and were like, "This is mint! Oh, no, totally rap!" I never thought I would like this, and I thought it was absolutely class. And then I was in the gym somewhere, and I was playing it then, and then I was like, there's something in this. Why can't I just say to all the rappers, right? I know you're into your underground rap and all of that, but give us your most commercial song. I don't want you to make a commercial song. I just want you to give me your most commercial song. And that's basically how it was born. We decided to do an album, which was like a sort of hip-hop, sort of urban album. So there was some singing on it as well as some rapping on it. I did that. I got my friend, shout out to Mark Cassell and his brother Dom. They sponsored it by giving us money for the album to give some advertisement in it. And a couple of other my friends, they sponsored it as well. Sandy from the Sage, he sponsored it with his Method Collective. And we've got all the CDs printed up in Blade, Quick Burn. He printed them all up. We've got something like 1,000 CDs done. We had a night at a bar in town as a launch, and we give everybody who turned up a free CD, and that's how it was born. And we did about 8 or 9 CDs off that, like basically samplers to let people know this is what's going on under your nose in the Northeast.
Yeah,
that's it, really,
That's fantastic. Yeah, well done on that, because we put a couple on at the forum. You put some people down, and it was good. And it's great when people do that. And it, like yourself, you're not doing it for the money. It was just just for the love, and that's what it is, and getting people involved. And I think things like that are just fair play to you. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, and I've got some of the CDs, and they still stand up now. Do you know what I mean? They're good listens. So excellent. Right, well, thanks for that, Fred. Right, should we crack on to record number 3?
Before you do, what's your favourite track on that?
There he is. Well done, John. Keep me in check, man. Keep me in check.
I would have got away with it one for the meddling kids. Now, I can't remember what the name of the song is, so I've just got to check. 1 second. There's 2 really outstanding songs on here. I'm just going to find one of them, and I'll tell you. I know what it...
John, have you got much Master Ace stuff?
None on vinyl. I've got it all. Okay. I've got it CD and digital. But, like Fred said, he's one of my favourite rappers as well.
Okay.
But he just doesn't get the recognition, I don't think. No, and I think he's like Redman. I think he's a lot of rappers' favourite rappers as well.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't get the recognition what he deserves.
Yeah.
So my favourite song could be either one of these 2, but Take a Walk, which I think is an absolute banger, or Every Other Day.
Just stop you 2 seconds, Fred. You're only allowed to choose one.
Thank you, John.
I was testing you.
No, you can't have a second. So what's your first, man?
Every Other Day.
Every Other Day. Right, okay, cool. All right, we'll have that one. Right.
Watching you.
John's keeping me in check here.
Keep us right, John, you swine.
Payback.
Right. Hey, as you told me, if there isn't rules, there'd be fire. So, do you know what I mean?
You have hip-hop anarchy, yes.
Exactly. Hip-hop anarchy. Brilliant. That's an album title there. What needed to be used. Right, excellent. Right, let's have number 3 now then. Which one are you picking up now?
So, I'm going to cheat again a bit. I was mentioning before about one of my favourite hip-hop duos is EPMD.
Yeah.
But there's a close rivalry for my sort of affections of hip-hop duos between EPMD and these. And EPMD was in my thing until 2 years ago, and I edged them out and put these in instead.
You know what? I was about to say, why isn't EPMD in this when you told me? Okay, so go on.
Well, another reason why as well is because a few people have already picked them, so I just thought, you know what?
Okay, right, fair play. So who have you chosen?
And I've spoke about them on other people's stuff, so I don't really need to speak about them, you know what I mean? So I've chose these instead.
Outcast. Nice one. Yeah, excellent. So this is their debut album.
Absolutely.
And this is, this one here is 26 years old now.
Yep.
So why did you choose this one over any of their other albums?
Right.
What's the score behind it? And how did you find out about Outkast?
I can't remember how I felt. Probably off MTV.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's probably how I heard of it. I don't think I heard it on any tapes or CDs or anything like, like mixtapes or anything like that. I think it was like, I heard the song was out. It was a hip hop Christmas song, and then I heard this and thought, what? You know, when you first heard it as well, when you don't know what the words are, and then I managed to sort of like tape it somewhere and then listen and think, oh, and then it was obviously the ching ching ching. I don't know if you heard this, like you remember the song, but it's like a gentle sleigh bell saying the sound in it. And then rapping, there's no Christmas trees, there's no Santa, so you wouldn't really know it's a hip hop Christmas song, but it is. And you know, and there's a line in it where he says, "There ain't no chimneys in the ghetto, so I won't be hanging my socks on the chimney." Something along those lines. And in the what do you call it song, Players Ball. Yeah, so Players Ball is a hip hop Christmas song, and that's what drawn us in that single, Players Ball, and just the sort of like it was just very, very different. Do you know what I mean?
It's got that southern drawl, isn't it? You know,
I mean, I'd like that. Yeah.
But back then, the South in hip hop wasn't really taken seriously at all. until probably this album started it, I think, 94, around about that time. But, you know, they seem to be very soul, jazzy, funk, especially the funk on it is just the genre of funk in this.
Yeah, well, anybody who knows me is I'm definitely a son of funk. You know what I mean? You know, my dad's banging to his funk. My brother's banging to his funk. I was raised on the funk, basically. Yeah. So if you listen to a lot of the tunes that I listen to, you know, Redman, EPMD, the funk is very prominent in the kind of hip hop I like, is what I would say. Yeah. Subconsciously, you know, I've had to think of that over the years, but I've realised that's where I'm at. You know, from James Brown all the way to now, it's there in us. You know, and they've definitely got that. I think that it's the whole thing. It's the production. You know, LA Face, the Dungeon family. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen any videos about, like, any documentaries about sort of like the dungeon where they used to record their stuff. It literally was a dungeon under somebody's house.
Didn't they buy it all, or bought the dungeon, or they bought the equipment?
Yeah, it was someone's mum's house or something. It was like proper. It's not proper. It wasn't properly boarded up or anything, you know. No. And still, I've seen a documentary where you can see where they've done the graffiti on the walls and it's still there and all of that. It's just but they've had, you know, they had their TLC go through there, Killer Mike,
it was there with that Crazy 60 Cool was done, wasn't it? It was Waterfall.
T-Boz was
worldwide hit. Yeah, all came from there. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, excellent. So,
and the very first track that Outkast were on was a TLC track as well, which I sent you a couple days ago, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Just, it's an amazing album. If anyone hasn't heard it before, you need to go and check it out. You know, I know a lot of people didn't know about Outkast until like Miss Jackson and you know, like in fact the next album after that, which was the
Speakerbox
double album, you know, which obviously they went somewhere else with that again. But
well, they sort of, in a way, even though they were working together, they were working separately as well a lot, you know. And I think that's what made it quite different with Outkast, especially you know, later on in their career. But this album is very much a coming of age, because they were teenagers when they
17, I think, when they came out with this. 17.
Oh, was it as young as that? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, 17, 18 was still at school. When they brought this out. You think about that. I mean, I was laughing the other day because obviously I was looking at these and I was sitting downstairs with Emma. There was absolutely nothing on telly, so I put on YouTube and I was putting on little Outkast videos, and I said, Emma, you seen who this is? And she looked up and she was on her phone. And she was like, "Oh my God!" She really, because they were kids. They look like kids.
How young?
They look like Criss Cross. That's what they actually look like. You know what I mean? When they're rapping, you know, like how Criss Cross look when they first came out, like little kids with a baggy pants, having to pull them up and that.
Yeah,
just amazing. I think they're class. I think my biggest thing is with them as well is that obviously, rightfully so, Andre 3000. He's lyrical. You know, he's a lyrical genius. I don't think he gets the credit as well. He's another one that doesn't always get, you know, some of the stuff he comes out with, you have to like rewind it a few times and think, what? But I think to the detriment of Big Boy, Big Boy's always like seen as like sort of like the tag along, and I don't say that. I think without Big Boy, I think Andre sometimes would be lost. I think, you know, you need Big Boy there as a foil. You know, I think some of his lyrics as well are absolutely amazing, but everyone always goes on about Andre 3000 and not about Big Boy. And to me, it's like it's the duo that I like, not them separately.
I don't think it would have worked, it wouldn't have worked if they weren't together.
No,
I don't think one of them would have made it without the other at the start. I think they had to be there to then sort of do what they need to do. Be interesting to see what happens in the future for these guys as well, what they're going to do.
Big Boy's still doing stuff. Big Boy's got he's got another side group that he's doing at the moment, and Andre basically doesn't really make music much.
He's sort of gone a bit more into acting sort of thing.
Yeah, he's more acting,
He's done some acting, but also he just wants to chill out and doesn't really want to sort of do stuff and that. He's not really, he's that arsed, you know what I mean? Which I respect as well. It's like he doesn't feel the pressure that he has to keep churning out tunes just to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, you got to respect that as well, you know?
Excellent. So, what's your favourite track?
Oh, well, this is a hard one, but actually this track I have to pick because anybody also knows me knows I love my posse cuts. I love a good posse cut. And one of my favourite posse cuts is on this album, and it's called Get Up and Get Out. Get Up and Get Out. because it also features the Goody Mob.
Nice.
It lasts for over 7 minutes, and it's just absolutely, it's just the same beat. It's not like it's just, anybody listen to it anyway, but it just goes, it just keeps on going over the same kind of beat, and they just keep on spitfiring in. One enters and then one comes out. So it's got like, it's got CeeLo on it, rapping.
Yeah. Wasn't he a producer as well on a couple of tracks, I think, wasn't he, on this one, or part of it? I think he was.
I don't think he's a producer.
Was he just backing vocals, I think, on some of the tracks as well?
Vocals, yeah. Sings. Yeah. This is when we first started knowing that CeeLo could sing. Do you know what I mean? Because he sort of like singy raps, which was one of his signature things. Just amazing. So yeah, Get Up, Get Out, I think is just absolutely. And it's got another meaning, because at the time I was a caretaker of a community centre. And it was just like, to me, it was like a dead end job, and I wasn't going anywhere. And then I had my headphones on, so I had it on CD, and I recorded it. And I was actually cleaning the toilet out and putting the bins out. And it's in the rap on there where CeeLo comes on and says, "I never thought I'd graduate at all. Sometimes I think I'm just a disappointment to you all." And something along the lines of, "I'm sick of taking trash out in toilet. I'm also sick and tired of struggling. Never thought I'd resort to drug smuggling. Not that I've ever done that, but basically just saying, like, he's just sick of dead end jobs. He's sick of taking trash out and toilet bowl cleaning. And at the time, I was actually scrubbing the toilet.
Wow.
But I just thought, I need to do something with my life here. I need to change, which is when I started getting into youth work and that as well. Right. So it has a massive significance to me, this album. And that song.
Yeah, excellent.
Absolutely amazing.
Nice. I love their logo as well.
Yeah.
What I like about it is that they've used it throughout the whole thing. They've kept it.
Yeah. It's I mean, you look on there, if you look at the picture, I mean, look how big boy, they just look like little kids.
Yeah.
And it's just, like I say, it's an absolutely amazing album. Even this little skits in between, it's just, spot on.
That's a funny thing, isn't it? Skits.
Yeah.
Some people like them, some people don't. Some albums have too many, as we've mentioned. Well, we haven't, but on one of the Vinyl Vandals, it was mentioned before about 3 Feet High and Rising.
Yeah.
The pressing of 3 Feet High and Rising was so thin and didn't sound as full as it should do, because there was too many skits on it.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, skits in hip hop.
Yeah. So yeah, there's lots of great tracks on here. So if anybody's never heard it before, I suggest they do. And then the next 2 albums after that were amazing as well.
Atlanteans
and
I can't pronounce it.
Aquemini.
That's it.
So it's Aquarius and Gemini, because that's what they are. One's a Gemini and one's an Aquarius, so it's Aquemini. Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Right. So that was number 3. Yep. So we're going to go straight to number 4, please. In no order. In no order,
yeah. And anybody knows that if Fred's doing a USA favorite 5, that this has got to be in. If it's not in, there's an issue. So everybody knows this is going to be in, because it has to be.
Right.
One of my favorite rappers of all time. Another good to me, who doesn't get mentioned and doesn't get his props, and he deserves his props, because he's another one that just, you'll do an album. He doesn't feel any pressure. He'll disappear. Then he'll come back 5 years later, drop another bomb, and then leave again. He's not in the pressure of just churning out stuff for churning out sake, because I think too many musicians do that. It's not always a quality album. They just bring it out because they feel as though they have to, because I've not had one out for a year. He doesn't feel as though he has to do that. I'd say it's amazing,
See, this is the artist that I didn't get into until the second album, Sleeping with the Enemy. That's how it came to me.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this album until a lot later. I didn't go back and listen to Sleeping with the Enemy for me. So this is the album out of these ones which I'm not really au fait with so much. I know about Paris, and later on also I knew about Sleeping with the Enemy. It was a big thing at school, Sleeping with the Enemy, when it came out.
It came out at the same time as the Ice-T Cop Killer one, and they were getting compared, because he had...
Yeah, it was OG original gangster around that sort of era.
Yeah.
With Cop Killer was, and Body Count and stuff like that.
Because there was all that stuff around trying to ban records, because it was talking about like inciting like a riot, because he was talking about Bush Killer, and the other one was talking about Cop Killer, and it was all that kind of like, basically trying to get black people to uprise, and there was all of that kind of they're trying to take over. Right. Trying to cause a revolution, so it was like let's ban all of that kind of subversive music.
That's when they got kicked off when he got kicked off Tommy Boy, wasn't it?
Tommy Boy,
yeah. Yeah, obviously it was a label from then.
Yeah. But no, he's very, very, very underrated, I think, Paris. And of course, I liked him when he came back with, well, not came back, but when he did the album with Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was after that album, I thought that was where that dip with Public Enemy went down a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before they came back again this year and last recently. But, yeah, no, nice. So what? How did you come about Paris?
Yeah, you know what it is? It's another one I can't remember.
I don't remember Paris being on MTV. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, I don't think it was. I think what I was talking about this the other day. I think it's one Julie's thing. I think this was one of the ones that Billy recommended to me. Bill, and I think he recommended it and said I walked in and he knew the kind of because Bill knew what kind of music you liked and what you looked for. Bill knew.
Where was he? Where was Bill?
Bill was HMV. Sorry, Volume Records. Volume Records. So there was a record shop in town called Volume Records. It used to be a punk and rock shop. And then it started selling hip hop, and Bill was the main pusher of it. So people would come in, and Bill would walk. You'd walk in, and Bill would have a grin on his face and say, "I've got something for you today." So nice. I walked in one day, and he played the Public Enemy first album.
Right.
And I was like, wow. When I said this before, and I was like, "What the is this?
Yeah.
Are you joking me?" He goes, "No, stay with it. You like it, man. I know the kind of stuff you like." So anyway, he convinced us to buy it, even though at first I heard it and I thought, ugh. Took it to him, put it on, and sat there and was like, right. And I was like, oh my God, this is just some sonic different kind of next level stuff. And then I got this, and when I was going home, all I remember when I got this, so it must have been Bill. Obviously, that's on one side of it, on the inside cover, and on the other side, it's got that. And you can't see it from there, but it's got stuff on about Nat Turner, who was a slave, a runaway slave who got other slaves to uprise and take over the plantations. Talks about Marcus Garvey, who was raising money for a fleet of ships to, what they call the Black Star Liner, to get everybody to get on the ships and go back to Africa.
Right.
Elijah Muhammad, who started the Nation of Islam. Malcolm X, don't need to mention him. The Panthers, Black Panther Party. Bobby Seale from the Black Panthers and Huey P. Newton from the Black Panthers. And then there's all this stuff around where you can get more information from. And I used to think I knew everything about, say, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and all of that. And then I thought, well, actually, I don't. I just know what people have told us and say, he was a revolutionary and he didn't like it the way he was getting treated by the establishment and all of this type of stuff. And then there was a book of my dad's, Malcolm X book. Never even read it, and I started like coming through it like that and having a look and reading stuff. And I just got my older sister Matilda, Tilly, and Paris got me to start reading books because I never used to read books, and they actually got me to start reading books and not just reading, but reading from start to finish, and not just parachuting into bits and then coming out. And Paris is one of the ones that got me to start reading books and starting to know about history of stuff and not just taking what people were telling us, but like finding out for myself, which I think is really, really important.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, I'm a white middle-aged man now, but when you're obviously a black man from a family of was all these books there in your family home anyway, or how did it?
Some were there, like at Christmas when someone wants to buy you something. So my I never went to uni. I've been to uni since, but I never did the route like my brother did and my sister did before me. They went, school. Sixth form, A-level, university, professional job. So my brother got his degree in law, did English in law or something. My sister did hers in English and went to university and did hers in English in some languages because she can speak French and German as well. And she became a journalist. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of family that I've come. Then it was me running around in the streets with my mates, into boxing and fighting and, running around in little gangs and stuff and get myself into little bits of scrapes and then working on the door. Do you know what I mean? And all of that brings. And then, so I just didn't need to read. Why do I need to read? I just wasn't reading. I was reading magazines, you know what I mean? Thumbing through magazines or a newspaper and all the shitty newspapers I might add as well. I used to read things like The Sun and that and believe all the crap that they used to tell you in there. And then all of a sudden, this just stopped us in my tracks. And then books started stopping us in my tracks. And, I was reading, not just, and also the fact that stuff I've been told about you know, black people in the jungle, and then my brothers and sisters used to be all saying as well, that's not true, you know, and you know, you need to read this and you need to read that, and because a lot of stuff that you get educated from, you know, you can watch something like, as a kid, you can watch something like Tarzan, King of the Jungle, and all of that type of stuff. People will turn around and say, well, that's, you know, we know it's not true, but when you're a kid, you take it in. You do take some of that in.
Yeah,
and also, if you're told that somebody's on top and you're below because you're nothing, that does seep into your psyche. It does seep into your psyche. So when people are telling you that the white people's on top and you're below them and you're subhuman, that does seep into young people's minds. And that's what was seeping into my mind, yeah, and never really questioned it, and then started thinking, well, actually, I need to read more, and that's what I started doing and educating myself.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
No, fair play. I mean, it's funny because growing up, you know, and listening to certain albums, I found that I was brought in to think about other things, you know, other subjects, and you know, I'm from Oxford, and you know, a white. I think there was one black kid in our whole school, and it wasn't really a thing until hip hop came into my life that I started to think about things like this.
Yeah,
that's what I thank hip hop for, because it made me think about where other people have come from, not just black or, you know, but just any religion, any, you know, where people are from, and you just sort of think, oh, this is always a story, there's always a background, it's always interesting to know. I think it's helped me just accept other people as well.
I agree.
You know, and not be very sort of tunnel vision, which a lot of people can be.
Yeah, and I think also there's that kind of like, you know, and people get frightened and say, oh, you know, you listen to that, so you're going to turn it into Nation Islam. No, I've never turned it into Nation Islam. I'm not interested in that. I just need to know other sides of other stories. I've been born and raised as a Christian, as a Catholic. Do you know what I mean? Went to Catholic church, went to Catholic school. Was it altar boy? Was it altar boy for years? Do you know what I mean? So that's been in me as well. So, but I also need to know other things as well in other religions. You know, I need to know about what Hindus do. I need to know, instead of making judgments when people talk about our women with hijabs on, do you actually know anything about the Muslim religion, or what you've been told of, you've been told of the sun? And I think also that when you get told things like, I used to get told stuff around Black Power and what it means, and people, oh no, Black Power means it's anti-white, and then actually find out it actually doesn't mean that, and also find out about the Black Panthers, and the Black Panther Party didn't just help black people in the community, they helped poor people in the community. So they had programs where they fed white working class people and white people who were homeless and all of that. You know, give bread for everybody and all of that, and it never gets mentioned. It don't even tell that they run around wanting to kill whitey and all of this kind of crack. It's not true. And I think what we need to do is we need to educate ourselves as well. It's like, learn stuff. I'm saying, you know, listen to what people are telling you over there, but listen to what people are also telling you over there, and then make your own mind up. And I think that's what people like Paris has done to me. Do you know what I mean? It's made me want to go and check for myself. And I don't agree with everything they say. Never do. And I think that's an important thing as well about when you're learning stuff and people are you're allowing people into your heads to educate you, is that's what they're saying, that's what they think, but is after listening to them and listening to them and listening to them and listening to them, what do I think? Where's my
make your own mind up?
Make your mind up. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, it's funny because my two eldest boys, and even though I'm not a religious person, the both of them absolutely love RS, religious studies. Love it. You know, and they took that as part of their GCSEs, and just talking about different religions and different, you know, people's history and things like that. I think things like that are very important. So stuff like that. So excellent. Well, that's good. It's a good album because I've been back to listen to it, you know, in the last few years, Paris anyway. But as I said, Sleeping with the Enemy is how I got into him. John, are you a big Paris fan? Do you like it?
Wait, I wanted him in my top 5, but I wanted to, but what I chose, I was. If I could choose my top 5 now, it would be my top 5 at this precise minute.
Right. Okay. Is that because you knew what was coming tonight and you've
no? It's just, but it's because my top 5 changes every 5 minutes anyway. But the amount of times he's been in there, it's like I think obviously the first album, that one, then it was Sleeping with the Enemy.
Yeah, that's the second.
Then it was Gorilla Funk. Then I would have them 3 in my top 10.
Probably. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Fair play. Excellent. Right. Brilliant. So, what's your favourite track?
Again, it's a really hard one, this, but
only one.
but I'm only going to pick one, and that is Devil
Don't give
Made
me a
Me.
second option.
Devil Made Me Do It.
Right.
That's that dirty guitar, the sort of like the Motorhead. Is it Motorhead beat? You know, is it Motorhead?
Was it? Oh, I don't know. I've never knew.
I don't know if it was a sample.
Okay. Yeah, Motorhead. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, it's Ace of Spades.
From Ace of Spades.
Ace of Spades, yeah.
Is that what it is?
That's what I've always assumed.
Never ever knew that.
I might be wrong, but that's what I've always assumed it is. I don't think it's quite. I think it's a sort of impersonation.
Check it out, John. Check it out. He's doing it now. We need to make sure, clarifying.
Very similar to Ace of Spades by Motorhead, and those remain
right.
like
Okay.
cool and,
right.
You know,
no, I didn't even twig that it could have been actually. So yeah. John will confirm on that one, but yeah, nice.
But there's so many classics on there.
What label was that on?
Tommy Boy. It was before the.
And that's Tommy Boy,
Tommy
right?
Boy, yeah. Then he went up and made his own. After Sleep with the Enemy, where he had the argument with the record label, he just said, "Right, I'm walking off."
That's right. What he's saying, yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Excellent. So, John, have you found out?
No, because somehow I forgot how to type. So.
Oh, okay. Usually with your thumbs, I find usually helps when you're on.
You wouldn't believe he's actually a computer analyst, but anyway.
No, I used to be, not anymore.
Well, you know, that's your profession. But he forgot how to type.
Brilliant.
It's by, was it Hihachi by Lafayette Afro Rock Band.
Right.
Jack the Ripper by LL Cool J and Mama Feelgood by Lynn Collins. They're the three main samples on it.
Oh, okay, right. Well, it just might sound like it. I'm going to go back and have a listen to that.
Yeah, have a listen to the guitar. To me, it sounds like an interpretation of Motorhead's Ace of Spades.
Right. Okay, cool. Right, brilliant. Thank you. Right, so here we go. Dun, 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 to copy you. Right, what's your last album? Here we go.
Like I said before, if it's not in, like if Paris wasn't in, people would be really worried and they'd be taking the temperature and asking us to lie down. And also, if this one wasn't in my top 5 or 10 or whatever like that, people would be worried because they know for a fact that this has to be in.
Oh,
that has to be in.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
It's an absolute classic.
Yep.
Voted the best hip hop album of all time by Hip Hop Connection.
Yep.
To be fair, it's how I got into Public Enemy. I knew about this album before I knew about Yo Bum.
Yeah.
And I went back to Yo Bum and I was like, oh, I don't know if I like that. Like when you said that you had heard that first, but this album right from the start with Dave Pearce. Tell me, why do you like this one, and why have you chosen this over Yo Bum?
Right. Because this has one of my favorite hip hop tunes on of all time.
Which is?
Which
is?
Well, let's talk about the album first.
Oh, okay. No, here we go.
Because it's going to be my favorite track in it. So yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
So, Public Enemy for me are just an all-round package, and I think when you're asking us why this album before the other album, I think the other album was rawer, which is fine, but this is funkier. This is definitely funkier. And like I've just said these a couple of albums before, I am a son of funk. Do you know what I mean? So it's always got to have the funk there somewhere, and this just has more of the funk for me. Do you know what I mean? You could dance more to this album than that album, and I like it. You know, I still like a bit of, you know, even if it's just head nodding in my car when I'm driving. This has got more head nod than the other one. You know, makes me head snap. And tunes have to do that as well. So I'm not dissing the other. I like the other album so much. I've got it twice, by the way. And I've got this. I've got the other album 3 times because I've got it on CD and I've got it twice on vinyl. This album, I've got on vinyl and CD.
Right.
But I think it's absolutely amazing. You can see it's back end. I just love it.
I think this one is where, you know, with before, you know, all the kerfuffle with Griff and everything.
Yeah.
But I think this album just came into itself as, like you say, a complete package. But they all had their own individual members of the band really came into it. With Flav being, you know, the comic act sort of thing, the sidekick to Chuck D a little bit.
Chord Jester.
Yeah, chord, yeah. But yeah, I think this is absolute. You know, it's all killers, no fillers on this. It's just tune after tune. Mm-hmm. It's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I've got it on vinyl as well. It's absolutely. Yeah, there's my copy. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, it's a great album. Do you know what? I'm going to leave that out. I'm going to listen to that later now. It's an absolute killer. Yeah, absolute killer. John, what have you seen Public Enemy live?
You know what? I've never seen PE live.
What?
Wow.
Honestly, there's been loads of times where they've been in Newcastle, and nobody wanted to go with us, and I went, "Oh, I'm not going by myself." But I've never ever seen PE.
Wow, well, we're going to have to rectify that next time they come over, because it's absolutely amazing. I've seen them in a stadium when they supported the Stone Roses. To be fair, I actually went because Public Enemy were there rather than Stone Roses. And I've seen them in smaller venues in Manchester. I met you when they did Near the Black Planet, didn't they?
Yeah.
They came back and did a reunion. Was it 20 years of that? I think it was, or
something like that. Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but it was 15, 20 year, and but absolutely blinding live, blinding.
The one in Manchester that I saw when I saw you outside of the kebab shop. I had nobody to go with, John, so I just said to Asher, for some reason I had 2 tickets. So I said to my son, Asher, never took him to a gig before. He's not really into music. He's not like the rest of the family with like a record collection, all of that. He's not really been that arsed, you know. I said, you fancy coming to keep us company? He goes, I'll come with your dad. Because I think he thought, I'll get some food out of this, you know. So he jumped in the car with us and was shot down. And
it was the Ritz, wasn't it? It was the Ritz, Ritz.
And I said, Asher, we'll go upstairs, because he didn't really want to be pushed around. He's not used to gigs, so he's not used to.
Fair enough.
First
gig. That's understandable. Yeah.
So I took him upstairs, okay, and all of a sudden there was this commotion, okay, and the crowd started surging. I thought, I've took him upstairs. There's a scrap upstairs. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden the crowd I was just about to pull Asher out the way. The crowd moved. The crowd just moved, and there was Flavor Flav upstairs. He'd come off stage, right, for one of the songs, and he was upstairs.
That's right, he did. Yes.
And he picked Asher up and threw Asher out the way.
Outstanding. Yes, I remember that now. I was on the ground floor. I met up with my friend who lives in Manchester, and we went to that. And I remember that now. We were looking at the stage, and I looked up to the right, and there was Flav, and I was just like,
on the balcony.
There, man, he was on the stage just a minute ago. It's just like absolutely brilliant. And even now they have the S1Ws live on the stage. You have a couple of people. It's just the live, easily one of the best hip hop acts I've ever seen.
Still,
in fact, you know, the closest chance I had, must be about 4 or 5 years ago. It was the Prodigy and Public Enemy at the Arena.
Yeah, I was there. I saw that.
Well, I had a ticket, but I couldn't get the night off work. Because when I was working in a restaurant, I couldn't get the night off work. So that was the closest I've got to seeing them. But
so me and Riddler went to that, and I saw you there, James, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, saw you there. Yeah. I think I've seen you a couple of PE gigs now. Yeah. Next time we'll definitely go together. But honestly, I'm gonna have to tell my PE story. And if I'd thought about this, I would have got the CDs out, which are right at the top there in those white boxes. But all my Public Enemy CDs are actually been signed by Chuck D and Flavor Flav.
Nice.
Now, I went to see the Warehouse Project in Manchester, right? And I went with my I've known Grant since 1985. Okay, I've known Grant and G. So big up to G, because I know he'll be watching this. And we went to see Public Enemy at the Warehouse Project. And this is where, you remember we did your top 5 and we were talking about comics, John?
Yep.
And I said I had the history of Public Enemy, the comic.
Yes.
And I've got it signed by all of them as well, because I met them after the gig. And they came out, and I saw Griff, and I got him to sign it. And then Chuck came out, and I got him to sign it. And I was, even now I'm embarrassed by saying this, right? But he went through he signed my CD covers and whatever, and I hadn't seen Flav come out, but he'd gone off stage, unlike that Ritz one, where he stayed on for ages and telling people to buy his tequila or whatever he was trying to flog at. But Flav had gone off quite quick and gone back to the coach, the tour bus, and I went, and even now I'm cringing, proper cringing when I say this. I went, "Yo, Chuck!" like this, thinking, oh, you dick, what are you saying that for? And my friend G was like, oh, no. I went, yo, Jack, I said, I need Flav to sign these CDs. And he went, right, let him in. And the S1Ws moved the fencing back, and me and G went through. And then next thing I know, I'm in the tour bus, sat next to Flavor Flav while he's ordering a pizza on the phone. And Chuck comes in, he goes, Flav, he says, can you sign all these? And I'm sat there on their tour bus while he signed all their CDs, and I've got them all signed up in the boxes.
Nice.
So there you go. That's my claim to fame with
Where was G?
G was in the door, right?
Uh-huh.
Watching me so he was like sat there watching me getting stuff signed, completely aghast. The fact that
so it was worth the cringe factor then.
Oh man, it was worth saying, yo, Chuck, like this, yeah. But it was. So anyway, sorry, I had to get my Public Enemy. That's a story which had to be told. But yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Class.
But really nice guys, really, really nice guys and down to earth. And the fact that Chuck invited a fan just to come and get his stuff signed, I thought, fair play. You're showing who you are, a real gentleman of a person, even their backgrounds.
That's class.
Yeah,
absolutely class.
I think I'm just like brilliant. I think about it.
It's like that story of the guy who gave him a lift in his van. You know that one? The hip hop.
Yes, I saw that. That was absolutely
urban legends or whatever it's called.
You know that one?
Class.
You know that one?
No.
Oh,
there's a program on telly called Urban Legends or Urban Myths.
Urban Myths. That's right.
Yeah. And it's sort of like they take a story and sort of hammer it up a bit, make it a bit funny. And there's a story where, I don't know if you've heard about it, where Public Enemy get stranded. They did a gig and then they need to go somewhere else in the country and they can't get there. So they end up, this guy, he's a taxi driver or a van driver. He says, I'll jump in my car, I'll give you a lift. So he gives him a lift.
I don't think he was a taxi driver. I think he was just a bloke with a car.
With a car or a van.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah, but there he is with, Chuck next to him or something like this. And then Flavor Flav behind. It's just, honestly.
He takes a selfie. He takes a selfie of them. They're all sitting like that. Yeah. They're all crammed in his car.
But it's a true story. Absolutely true. Yeah. Absolute bliss. Yeah, it's amazing. I love things like that. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah. So when did you first see? I mean, I know I keep on bringing the live thing up here, but I think it's quite important because hip hop gigs, you can go see people, but it's few and far between that they come over from the US to come and see. When did you first see them?
I think the first time I saw them, I might have went with my sister in London. Because most of my gigs, most of my early gigs, I think it was their first album, or maybe because it was.
You saw them in the late '80s.
Yes, they were supporting. They were supporting Beastie Boys.
Right. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I think they were supporting the Beastie Boys or Run DMC. Because I saw them. I can't remember which way around it was. Because I've seen them a few times. Yeah, I think there was definitely one that I saw them when they were where the Beastie Boys were on, and it was comical. I didn't even like the Beastie Boys. I just thought it's ridiculous. They were just on stage, like lasses in cages with nout on and like hardly anything on, and I was just like, that's not really rap to me. Like, but anyway, I could see what their appeal was, but obviously I was like, and what it was as well in those days, it was always a cool thing to stand outside and only see the main act. So there's a lot of gigs where I've never, back in the day, you went to a gig and you stood outside and you just chilled with your friends outside, and then you heard that the main act were coming on and you went in. So a lot of the early gigs, I missed the support, which were top support now, which I cry about and think, I could have seen this one and that one. I didn't see that.
I've seen every single support. If I'm there, I will go see it. That's how I learned about people like Sudden Impact. Because I went to see Gunshot in Oxford when they come, and Sudden Impact with the support. And that's, just like, love support. I've never known that before. Wow.
That's all the cool. I see you're not cool though, that's why.
I'm not cool. I'm putting my hand up. I'm putting my hand up live on YouTube right now on the Vinyl Vandals. I'm not cool. I don't care. Right? I do what I want to do, and I'm seeing the support act. This way I haven't missed out on people like you have.
Fair comments, Fair
there you go, you see. There you go. Brilliant. Excellent. So, John, we have to rectify this next time PE comes.
I know.
We're all going to have to go, man. We're going to have to go.
You know what? The thing is, even that one, the last time I saw them was at the arena there when they did with the Prodigy,
Right.
And you wouldn't believe that bloke. I mean, obviously he's 60 now, but he was nearly 60 then, and he was still running up and down stage. Flavor Flav still jumped in the crowd. Oh, was Flavor Flav there that one? He wasn't, was he? He wasn't there.
Flavor wasn't at the Prodigy gig.
No, but with Chuck D was
I think
still
there was issues that he couldn't get into the country or something.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. He's had many issues over the years, hasn't he? Bless him. So, but yeah, it's here's a question for you. After Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back.
Yeah.
And when Welcome to the Terror Dome from the next album from Fear of Black Planet came out, there was all these rumors about Flavor Flav's solo album. It's never ever come out, is it? Really?
It did. It's out. I've got one.
What?
Yeah, it wasn't Flavor Flav.
Yeah, but was it the right one that he was supposed to be bringing out with all the tracks on that he was supposed to?
Yeah. I don't think it ever came out about that time, did it? It came out later.
There was originally one
something later, but
Flavor Flav and the Flaviators. That one never came out.
That sounds awful.
He has with it.
It probably is awful. I didn't even know that came out. So, but that's a shame because I think at that time he could have really hyped it up, and it could have been.
At the time, he was supposed to be bringing it out at the same time that 2 Minute X had his Valley of the GP. You know.
That's right. Yeah, I've got that on vinyl. You know what?
I had it on cassette.
Great compilation.
Right, here it is. Do you know what? I've deleted it, but it was called Hollywood. It took years to get released. It actually didn't release until 2006, but it was absolutely shockingly bad. It's called Hollywood.
Right, I'm going to check it out now, just for the fun factor, I think. So there we go.
Yeah. So, I know it's like in the early 90s he was meant to do one.
That's right.
It was Flavor Flav and the Flaviators, but it never arrived.
It was at the time when, like I say, when 2 Minute X had the Valley of the G beats out.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like, everyone's doing their own, and obviously Griff did his album, didn't he, as well?
Yep.
Last Days He Had His Disciples, Pawns in the Game. Yeah, I've got that on vinyl as well. Yeah. It's all right. So, John, you're going to ask him the question.
What's your favourite track off it? And only one.
And tell us, because you said, go on, you've hyped this one up.
Well, John already knows what it is.
Yeah, true.
I want you to tell us, friend. Tell us what's the tune.
It is. Where is it? Ooh. Actually, I can't see it on here. That can't be right. Hold on. Yes, it's on the second side. So it's on the black side. So the first side's called the silver side. Yeah. And the other side's called the black side. And it is The Night of the Living Bassheads.
You know what? I thought you were going to say that.
What a tune.
Yeah,
what
absolutely
an absolute tune. Yeah. And the video to go with it as well. Yeah. I've still got my Fight the Power live on video. Right.
Still got the videotape. I couldn't get rid of it. And it was one of those ones I had to keep, and that was with all the videos.
Yeah, I've got that. I've got two public. Is that the one where Flavor Flav, when they're trying to keep him in the dressing room because he keeps on trying to run away?
Yeah, brilliant.
Absolute idiot.
Yeah, love it. So no, that's excellent. Yeah, amazing album, amazing.
Yeah,
excellent.
That song's just honestly just blows my mind every time I hear it. It's one of my favorite hip hop tunes of all time.
Yeah, fair play.
Night of the Living Bassheads, just absolutely class.
Did you like Mr. Chuck, the Chuck D solo album?
Not particularly. It's all right, but I'm not a massive fan of it. Like,
could have been better. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I think he definitely he's comes into his own. I think when he's just part of Public Enemy, he just works better. So there we go. John, have you got any questions at all? Or
to be honest, everything about Public Enemy's already been said. To be honest, and there's nothing to say. Apart from I have to see them live. I can't. I'm so ashamed I've not seen them before.
Yeah, but we're going to rectify that. It doesn't matter. It's going to work. It's going to happen. When it happens, it's going to be great.
We went to the arena to see them, and then obviously last year we went to I forgot the Gods of Rap. Saw them in Glasgow, but you didn't go.
Of course, yes, I didn't go to that.
It was me, Julie, and Riddler who went up. Yeah.
Were they good? I mean, because Flavor wasn't at that, was he?
Flavor wasn't at that either, but it was still good. Still good. Yeah, they're always good.
Flavor wasn't there for the Stone Roses gig. I think that was the last time I saw them.
I have never seen a Duff Public Enemy show ever.
No, I'd agree.
I've seen better ones. Do you know what I mean? But I've never seen a Duff one.
what I like about it is that they've got live drums, live guitar,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, they really put a show on, you know, with the X1Ws. It just works. Everything works. It's brilliant. And when Flav is there, even better.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
I mean, in the heyday, when you think back to the heyday, you had Chuck D just going absolutely, you know, backwards and forwards, throwing his mic up and down, all of that. You had Flavor Flav on the speakers, clock going, swinging from side to side. You had the S1Ws in their prime, you know, doing all of that kung fu karate kicking. Do you know what I mean? And all the synchronized dancing and all of that when they were really fit and strong enough to do it. And you also had Terminator X just like that, standing with the big glasses on, just doing that. You know what I mean? Just obviously we were talking the other night to Julie when Julie was talking about hers. You know, and she's right. He doesn't get the acknowledgement as a top DJ that other people do.
Totally agree.
You know,
totally agree.
Talk about him as much, but he was or is a top DJ. You know what I mean?
But DJ Lord now, you know, top game as well. And do you know what? He's been in Public Enemy longer than Terminator X was now.
Yeah.
But he's amazing DJ, absolutely amazing. So fair play.
Doesn't sound the same when you say DJ Exit though, is it, compared to Terminator Exit?
Excellent. I love it. Yeah. Have you got Valley of the Beats? Have you got that? Have you the Terminator X one or?
The Valley of the Jeep Beats on cassette.
Jeep Beats, sorry. Yeah, have you got that?
I had it on cassette.
And Superbad as well. Superbad's really good. His second solo album.
Oh, I haven't got that one. Right. Okay. I'm gonna have to check that one out. Yeah. I've got Jeep Beats on vinyl. Yeah, it's a great album. So
I got it on. I got it bought. Somebody bought it for us on cassette for like a Christmas or birthday present or something. So because I used to go jogging all the time on, you know, like on the when you Walkman.
Yeah. Good present.
Yeah.
I like that. Excellent. Right, wonderful. Right, well, brilliant. Fantastic albums, and now it's done. It's set in stone now. You can't go back, unless of course, in the future, you decide that you want to do the next top 5, and you can do
Well, the next top 5 is going to be in the new year at some point. Is going to be top 5 12 inches. Okay. Now that's going to be a killer.
It is. And is that going to be mixed, or is that going to be US and UK again?
Blocks, US and UK.
Okay, so you could probably do all 10 of those in one episode, couldn't you? Because you can zip through them quick because they're just songs.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's not so bad then. All right, better start thinking about that one. I've got to do my US ones first anyway, and that's been hard enough trying to think those. So, anyway, there we go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, well, look, Fred, thanks ever so much for your choices. Absolutely brilliant. John, thank you again for being here and asking the main questions as well. And keeping
keep them
it's been an absolute pleasure to be asked to come back and do this.
Thank you for doing it. Spot on.
Thanks for anytime you ask me to. So thanks very much. And check out all the other YouTube videos. Thanks to Fred. Thanks to John. Cheers, guys.
One more thing before we go as well. Don't forget now what we also have our playlist on YouTube, which is the favorite 5 playlist that we'll keep adding to, which is everybody's choices. It's on a loop. Obviously, if you go on our YouTube site, you will also see that we've got a playlist. So it's our favorite 5 playlist. So
right. Okay, cool.
At the moment, it's just the USA, but we will be making a UK one when more people come on and do the UK. Okay, that's it.
Excellent. Right, lovely. Well, thanks ever so much. Final Vandal.
Right.
Take care.